Right now, here at 11 o'clock, the stunning damage police say caused by a patient inside Jewish hospital in downtown Louisville. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us on the night team on this Friday evening. I'm Doug Prophet. The patient on a rampage in Louisville's medical district prompted the U of L Health Chief Medical Officer to address today what actions they are taking next. WHS 11 Night Team's Jose Alonso and photojournalist Aspen Hester report.
According to Louisville Metro Police, a 50-year-old Southern Indiana man was arrested after having a combative outburst at U of L Health Jewish Hospital Friday morning. Safety for staff, specifically nurses, is a big concern as police have been called to this medical district several times.
This comes after photos surfaced on social media showing the chaotic scene left behind. A man being treated at Jewish ransacked the nurse's station. Police charged the patient with third-degree assault and criminal mischief.
We have had to deal with these problems for decades. Probably since the inception of University Hospital. From that fact, we've tried to increase our overall presence, reduce the number of entryways into the hospital system, and re-educate patients and families around acceptable behavior.
U of L Health Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jason Smith tells us what steps his hospital is taking to ensure staff stay safe.
The first thing we'd say is we've increased security around the entirety of the healthcare system. And we've been working on developing, long-standing security plans.
But the CEO of the Kentucky Nurses Association, Delanor Manson, says there's other methods any healthcare system can take prior to when the next dangerous situation occurs.
Nurses have concerns about being in an unsafe environment. And I know that there are many organizations that are engaged in collecting data and changing their environments, but they're not sharing the data with the nurses or the other healthcare professionals.
I think oftentimes it goes underreported across the United States for the very reason that the people delivering this care are empathetic towards another individuals, and they don't want to press charges. They don't want to report incidents. And we find that difficulty today.
Dr. Smith says U of L will back any employee who wants to press charges. Manson says that process takes time.
And nothing happens after they fill out the incident report. And then other people, nurses have told me that they just really thought that being exposed to violence was part of the job. It's not part of the job.
The call to action here, ensuring employees like nurses are kept from danger and feel comfortable speaking out. In downtown Louisville, Jose Alonso, WHAS 11 Night Team on your side.
Just this week, the WHAS 11 News Focus Team has been digging into these assaults, and we've been talking to nurses about their experience. To watch our full investigations, go to our website, WHAS11.com, and click on Focus. New tonight at 11, a new safety plan is going to be implemented for this year's Harvest Homecoming Festival in New Albany. It comes after a shootout last October injured 2 people and killed 18-year-old Bryce Gerlach, a senior at Corridon Central High School. In a post to social media, organizers say there will now be an increased law enforcement presence with a unified command. There will also be new hours for Harvest Homecoming with additional barricades and fencing. No longer will minors be allowed in the ride area without being accompanied by someone over the age of 21. 5 people have been charged in connection with last year's deadly shooting. The party tonight at Crescent Park across from the zoo. Tonight celebrating the sudden reversal from Mayor Craig Greenberg pulling his support away for a 25-acre pickleball and tennis development at Crescent Park. It comes after more than 700 people made their voices heard loud this week, showing up at a developers meeting Tuesday to push back against the project.
I'm announcing that the proposed tennis and pickleball project at Crescent Park will not be moving forward here. If this process was not handled appropriately, I've learned a lot. I'm sorry that we are at this point.
Well, now tonight, the celebration. Community members gathering at about 5:30 in the park tonight, once again, this time with cheers of joy. But pickleball is popular in Kentuckiana, and the development is being asked to move somewhere else. WHS 11 Team's Clarice Shaley and photojournalist Emma Gefter have more on the rare victory for residents preserving nature.
We're thrilled that the mayor listened to the community.
An open space of Crescent Park. full of kids playing, dogs walking, and picnics. They call it Victory for the Park.
I think the community has spoken. We care about our public parks. We care about free access to public space.
Everyone is continuing to enjoy and appreciate this land that they've worked so hard for, an open green space that's public that was threatened to be developed. The voices against it were loud. The developers say this plan has been in the works since 2023 to build a $65 million tennis and pickleball complex. Its biggest supporter, even on Tuesday, Mayor Craig Greenberg.
This would be a huge boost for our tourism economy.
But then the about face. Here on Friday, Greenberg pulling the plug, admitting he was stunned over the size of the protests.
There were more people that showed up than I thought, and there were more opinions on this, and there were louder opinions.
Developer Will Davis disappointed the mayor changed his mind.
This is a project by Louisvillians, for Louisvillians. It was something that was going to be an economic driver and help with all different special needs groups in Louisville. So we think that it's a wonderful project.
But in Crescent Park,
part of the reason why we settled in this area is because of this park.
I have a 5-year-old who loves the park, so it's just a wonderful place for families.
residents believe the development is better elsewhere.
It's already congested. From 4 to 6 p.m., I'd say. Newburgh Road and Trevilian are both very, very crowded.
And it's not a case of NIMBYism, like we've been called by a lot of people, but it's a case of this being a public park.
The rare victory to preserve nature in the city, as the popular sport of pickleball will now grow somewhere else. At Crescent Park, Clarice Shaley, WHAS 11 Night Team, on your side.
Also to new tonight, as part of our reporting on this story this evening, Metro Council member Republican Anthony Piagentini joined the side of the developer, saying, quote, some areas of the city are truly anti-development, and it is unfortunate the mayor has capitulated to those sentiments. Piagentini went on to say that he welcomes this development in the east end of Jefferson County. And by the way, we want to note, tomorrow morning's meeting that was going to be held about Crescent Park at St. X High School has now been called off. It's canceled. It was set to start at 8:30 in the morning. On the night team, the family of a missing woman who has since been found dead says they were being ignored by police. A missing persons report for Latasha White was filed by police on May 1st, but her family says they warned Metro Police she was missing days before. Metro Police late today, though, saying the information they received did not meet the criteria for a public alert. But White's family said after they noticed White never showed up at work, her personal belongings were still at her home, and her security cameras were torn out. Her siblings say it took days for police to take their concerns seriously and launch an investigation.
I just feel like LMPD felt my sister. They felt my sister. They failed her.
So if you act faster, maybe we could have got to it sooner than what it is.
Metro Police telling us they did not see any indication of a struggle at her home when they entered it, and that White tore the security cameras out herself. Police also say her family did not provide any information that indicated she was in an imminent danger, which would have elevated the alert status. Police say they are now focused on finding her killer. If you have any information that can help detectives in this case, that number to call anonymously is 574-LMPD. Today in Harrison County, Indiana, detectives arresting and charging a son for the murder of his father. Another man was charged with helping set the home on fire afterwards. 26-year-old Edward Powers and 23-year-old David Woosley Jr. charged in the death of 51-year-old David Woosley Sr. Woosley Sr.'s body was found after a house fire in Elizabeth, Indiana. But the coroner found that he was dead from a shooting before the fire. Neighbors of David Woosley Jr. told police he did not come home that night until after 2 o'clock in the morning. And both Powers and Woosley's guns were found hidden. Flock cameras showed Powers' car heading in the direction of the house the night of the fire.
This was a planned attack. Mr. Woosley, alone in his bedroom and likely caught by surprise, stood no chance of defending himself. The attackers carefully removed all spent shell casings from the scene. In an attempt to destroy evidence of Mr. Woosley's murder, the house was set on fire and left to burn.
The two men are charged with murder, arson, and lying to police officers. A new state office will soon give Indiana schools more guidance on safety measures. Indiana Governor Mike Braun signing a law creating the Office of School Safety within the Indiana Department of Homeland Security. This new office will coordinate school resources, safety resources, and work with other state agencies to determine the best safety practices for the schools. It will also maintain guidelines for school security and emergency response protocols in Indiana. The office can also meet with school corporations and charter schools to review their safety plans and to make recommendations. Today in Louisville, council members Tammy Hawkins and J.P. Leninger holding this news conference to address concerns brought to them from former employees of Stellar Snacks, the Nevada company that put its first expansion recently in the Park Hill neighborhood. In fact, the company just did recently open in West Louisville, bringing with it 350 jobs. But employees feel they aren't being treated fairly at Stellar Snacks. Some have told Metro Council that there's been discrimination, offensive language used, and other workplace issues.
I just want to say that all the promises that we was given from the beginning, it's been so many broken promises. It's been a lot of neglect and just unfair treatment.
The things they would expect from us were unrealistic. Knowing we weren't trained properly to do most of the tasks that was required from us.
The council members say the mayor's office has been notified of these complaints. Well, the company, Stellar Snacks, founded by a mother and daughter, did release a statement saying in part, quote, "As a mom, a business owner, and someone who cares profoundly for our employees and community, I want to say this. Stellar Snacks is the kind of place where families can grow and thrive. Stellar Snacks is a family business built on the belief that kindness, fairness, and opportunity are not just values, they are the foundation of everything we do."